Hey everyone, Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and tonight you're in for a treat. We're going to be designing something really cool, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. So as you come in, if you're watching the replay, which at this point in time, if I make that introduction, you're obviously watching the replay because not everybody is tuning in at the very first second. But do me a favor, okay? Drop a comment down below. I always appreciate it because it tells me who comes back and watches my videos at a later point. And as always, if you haven't texted us yet, or if you're new here, you can sign up for our text alerts where you get alerts via text each and every time we're designing live, or when we do warehouse tours, or in case we have any giveaways or anything really cool, you'll get an alert. So Facebook notifications and any notifications are not the best. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, whereas the text, you always get them. So if you also signed up for our text alerts, let me know. So yesterday we did a surprise live where we created a wine-themed wreath in the wreath community, and I was deciding whether to do that design with you guys or to do the bunny design with you guys, and clearly I have chosen to keep this for you guys. So we have this really cute gingham bunny. This was actually from Walmart. So yesterday morning I went to Walmart really quickly, and I popped in to see if they had anything Eastery out. All of the Valentine's Day stuff was gone, which is kind of crazy. Usually it sticks around for a few weeks. And they've replaced it with a few Easter goodies, including this bunny. So I picked him up. I think he's going to look really cute in this basket that we're going to design on. So I'll just remove the tag. We're going to be working in some carrots since it's orange and it's got some carrots already on it. I have these gingham carrots, which as you can tell, match the ears perfectly. And both of these, along with some of the other products, I picked out, was it yesterday? Maybe yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was. When I did the Hobby Lobby tour. And if you didn't see that, I did walk around Hobby Lobby showing you guys all of the spring stuff they got in. But how cute is that bunny? Ooh, you guys can't even see me. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, hands up if you love that. I think it's just adorable. But before we do that, we gotta create our structure. So in this video, we're gonna be moving around quite a bit. So if you get seasick, let me know, but there's nothing I can do. So, hey Vicky. Let's just lower that camera. Alex is in the comment section. Today, yes, Richard, I am live. So today, me and Alex actually went to pick out some doors. Guys, it was almost 70 degrees in Massachusetts today. Very windy, but almost 70 degrees. And Alex told me, and she can correct me in the comment section, that we're going to be getting some snow. So I'm not looking forward to it. Alex said around 10 plus inches or so, which is dreaded, but what are you going to do? You guys know that the bulk of our storms happen in the month of February anyway, and so far we've gotten really lucky this year by not getting too much snow. So we're just taking some of this dry Sahara foam. It is kind of a brownish color. It's not our typical green we work with, and this brownish color kind of reflects what it smells like. This smells awful to me, you guys, and I don't enjoy that smell at all. So let's work that together. I'm going to compress it together because these two bricks of foam fit my container perfectly. So I want to make sure there's not too much wiggle room or else we're not going to be able to place it in. And look, fits like a glove. So then what we're going to do is place another brick right there. You can also purchase a big cube of styrofoam if you choose. I have this on hand. Dad and Yaya actually picked this up for me a few weeks ago. I didn't have any artificial foam, and I was kind of just scavenging it, throughout my shop, finding any leftover bricks and putting them to use. So they bought me a huge case of this good stuff. I just don't like the smell. But I'm thankful nonetheless. So we'll combine those three bricks, give them a nice squeeze. We'll give that a minute to harden up. Let's catch up on comments. Hey, Deborah. Yes, my day has been great, Sue. I hope yours has as well. And if you guys don't mind doing a quick favor right now and giving this video some hearts and a share, I would appreciate it. In doing so, it helps me inspire and reach others. So my goal is to inspire you guys. And, if I've done my job, you guys can let me know. So this amount of glue is going to be more than enough for the bottom of our container. We're not working in, A, anything that will become damaged, and B, anything that's really going to need to stay in place. I mean, this is going to stay exactly where we place it. As you can see, not much wiggle room whatsoever. Hello from Alabama. Welcome. So before we really start designing, we got to secure our bunny. So this bunny has not sand, pebbles in the bottom, it feels like, crushed rock. And typically, I know a lot of designers remove that, and sometimes I've done it in the past. But in today's case, that's going to help balance the bunny and keep him upright. So we don't want this bunny to be upside down now, do we? So I'll just take a length of wire, see if I can feed that through to the other side. Try not to prick myself with it. Let's do this side. There we go. So feed that wire through. Hey, Vespina, nice to see you. And we'll do it to each leg. Twist it nice and secure. But who wants to see the doors? So far, me and Alex have painted a pink door. And trust me, you guys, I don't know how I feel about a pink door, but I saw it on a pamphlet at Lowe's today. Me and Alex stopped there to get the doors and the paint. And wow, it looks really cool. So I can't wait to hang some wreaths up on some prop doors is what we're going to call them. So each side has a different color. The colors we've chosen thus far for spring, we have yellow paint, we have pink, we have orange, and we have purple, like a lavender purple. So it's going to look really, really pretty. So once you've twisted those secured, what you can do then is I posted a project yesterday. It was a fast video showing you guys how to make a poppy wreath. Nope, a poppy wall basket. If you haven't checked that out, what are you waiting for? Definitely watch that. I think it turned out really pretty. But I actually saved the stems because they're fuzzy and I wanted to do something with them. Don't know what, but something. So I'll take those sticks, wrap them around. Could have done a little bit better of a job, but that's okay. So that's two, and let's just do one more for security. We are going to add some hot glue to the butt, so if my customer who purchases this wants to remove the bunny, there's just going to be hot glue on the bottom, but you're not going to notice that anywhere else. But when I design, I don't design for them to take these things off necessarily. You know, our signs, we leave our cords on, but that's pretty much as far as I'll go with making sure they have the possibility. So we'll take one more stick. Am I in the shot? I am in the shot. Over 700 of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And who got their text? Last night we were having some issues. I think it was because of the rain. That's why I opted out of doing a second live after date night, because it was raining like mad outside. You guys could barely hear me on this tin roof because it got really bad after that video. So then what we're going to do is cut them short. You only need a couple inches. And maybe what we'll do is we will straighten that out. Work in a little bit of hot glue because we're going to add a lot of hot glue underneath the butt. And then don't forget too, and I say this a lot, by working in the flowers and the greenery around things, it helps support everything else. Just kind of rearrange those picks. And there's our little bunny. Well, sort of. You got your text? Awesome. So then those extra sticks that I cut off, I'm going to apply a lot of hot glue under that butt. Can I say that on Facebook? That bottom. Let's say that bottom. That would be pretty iconic, you guys, if I got kicked off for saying that word, right? So I don't want to really extend too far past underneath the bottom, because the way hot glue works is that it makes it extremely difficult to, let's lift this thingy back up. Bear with me. Yes, Bunny was from Walmart. That is correct. I don't want too much hot glue on top of the foam because what ends up happening is it makes it difficult to insert your stems. So we have this big gap without any foam, and we're going to make it work. I'm going to show you guys that you don't need every nook and cranny to be filled with foam. So being a florist as well, I don't do much fresh floral designs these days. Artificial keeps me busy. But when I do fresh designs, that rule does not apply. Fresh floral foam, when it's dried, to kind of the unknown eye, it seems very similar, almost exactly the same, but once you add that water, you got that weight there. So only working in this amount of foam for a fresh design, these would just swivel and it wouldn't be right. So look at that ribbon. Can you guys see how well that matches the ears? Well, you can't see the ears. Hey, Helen, I'm going to show you guys the ears for those of you just tuning in. What do you think? Hands up if I should use that. So as some of you guys saw, we did get in a lot of new products at nixseasonaldecor.com, and this was one of them from a couple weeks ago, RG01320M1, and I think these are $3.49 a roll or so, and we're going to do a bow. I'm going to bring you back down. I know, bear with me. Bear with me. Chris says, great ribbon. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I love gingham. And we have a lot of gingham coming your way. So I'm thinking, should we do a traditional bow? I'm thinking funky. If I think funky, let's do funky. Cut a length of longer tails. And then start making your bow. So we're going to do, well, should we even do a traditional bow? Like a typical funky bow? Let's try something different. Yeah. That piece was tattered. So that piece was pieced together, so I just cut that off. It happens to all of us, right, you guys? Sometimes you end up with ribbons that are pieced together, and there's not much you can do. So that's 2 loops. Snip it off again. And maybe we'll stop at 3. Let's stop at 3 loops. I don't want this whole design to be focusing on a bow. So come back in with another tail. And that tail I made much shorter because it's not going to matter. Then we'll take our longer set of tails. Grab our pipe cleaner and secure. So I see almost 750 of you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Thank you for the hearts, the shares, and the comments. I appreciate it. And now let's just dovetail these while we're here. That way when we hot glue this bow into the foam, we don't have to do it later on. That way we can just fluff it out and start creating a beautiful design. Dovetail those longer ones. We might end up just curling them. I don't want these longer tails to touch the table. So I got to keep that in mind. Is that all of them? I think that's it. Let's clean up our workstation a little bit. So as a friendly reminder, you guys, the wreath community opens up the end of next month. You'll hear me say that throughout the next month because we're going to only open for a few days. And once we close the doors to the group, we're not going to reopen until fall. So you can learn more at wreathcommunity.com. Now what we'll do is, let's actually do this. I'll show you guys a couple different options. I don't know what I did with my floral tape. I think Yaya's been up here and she moved it, you guys. But we'll just make do with what we got, which is our pipe cleaner. So I'll take that little bit of pipe cleaner. I'll cut a little length of wire. Traditionally, you wrap this with floral tape. That way you don't see any of the mechanics. One of the most important things with what we do, you guys, is to make sure that nobody else can kind of see how we did it. They just see that beautiful outcome. Not because it's secretive. Clearly, I show everything I do to you guys. But to the general public, to the receiver of the gift or receiver of the product, I like to make sure that they don't see any of these things. So with the amount of florals and greenery we're going to work in, you're not going to see any of this anyway. So we'll just snip that off now, dip it in our glue skillet, or take a scrap stick and apply some hot glue. Do you have a floral pin? I do not have floral pins on us or on me, but that thing is nice and secured. It's not going to go anywhere. Now we'll take our bow. And we can dovetail again, trim up those tails a little bit more. But you're better off making sure you like it before you put too much effort into it, right? You might want to change it. And under here too, see how we have that kind of dark hole there? I am going to come back in with some greenery. That way you don't see that. Or some carrots. Ooh, maybe some carrots. What do you guys think? Well, I'm asking you, but we're definitely going to work in those carrots we picked up yesterday. It's a must. How's that look? Over 815 of you guys. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can hit 1,000 tonight. Might trim those up a little bit more, but I like to wait until I'm absolutely certain. Like this one, a little bit more. So I was certain about that. This one, I like the rest. We'll leave the rest for now. Okay, let's come back in with some greenery. Or, thinking maybe this foliage would look nice. Let's use this. This is our leather, our Real Touch leather fern. I love this greenery we got in because it has really long stems. So Natural Touch leather fern bush, 13 stems, 18 inches long, MTF 222172. Let's break these down. Yes, the bunny came from Walmart, you guys. Thank you guys for helping out. So I'll break down some of these. And I have a lot of orange flowers in different shades. And we are going to keep this predominantly orange, but I do want to soften it through the use of white flowers as well. So I don't want this whole thing to just look like a giant pumpkin when all is said and done. So we got to add some life to it, some color. So we'll start with some leather fern around the sides. So with this design, you guys, technically what we're doing is container designing. So with container designing, you've heard me say this a heck of a lot. And if you're in the group, you've heard me say it pretty much with every design that we've created in a basket or container. But we always want to go with, the rule of a spiller, a filler, and a thriller. So what that means is exactly what it sounds like, basically. But I'll kind of go a little bit more into detail. You want something that is your thriller, that is your focal point, that is your attention grabber, that is the first thing you notice with your design. And pretty much every design out there has, a focus to it. But sometimes people get caught up in one thing being a focus. And sometimes that's just not true. Like the design that I haven't shared yet, it's on the wall right now. You guys will see it later on. The focus on it is just the collection of flowers we used. So the focus on today's design is, of course, going to be our bunny. That's why earlier when I said I don't want to draw too much attention to the bow, it's because the bunny should be getting all the attention. Then what you need is a filler, and things can kind of cross paths as well. So sometimes your fillers can be your spillers and vice versa. So this leather fern is acting as both a filler as well as a spiller because it's cascading over the edge of my container. And what that is a spiller. You always want to soften the edge of your vessels because you want it to look as though it's growing in nature, right? You want it to look like it's kind of been around for a little while. So when you plant things in containers, like let's say like petunias, I don't know, anything, right? And it cascades over the edge of your container, that makes it the spiller. So that's what we got so far. And I'm thinking, am I able to grab one more of those? I'm going to take, nope, I think that's good. I was going to place one in the front, but we might just do carrots for that, right? Hey, Melissa. All right, flower time. What do I want to do, you guys? I'm nervous. I don't know what I want to do. Okay, I lied. Zinnias, it's a must. Gotta work in some of these zinnias. So we have these in moss green. We have them in orange, yellow, purple, and pink, I believe, and red. So item number of MTF 23715. It's a garden zinnia with the bud, 30 inches long. So when I actually placed the order for these flowers, one thing that I really focused on is purchasing flowers that are in different stages of life. We've said that before. One of my favorite types of florals to use are any flowers that have tighter buds, fully open blooms. You know, when you kind of pair those up together, it creates the ultimate realistic design. So in fresh floristry, when you're designing, you know, naturally the flowers are going to vary amongst each stem, right? Some are going to have tighter buds, some are going to have fully open blooms, and it just creates that realistic look. So I love that. Can you guys even see it? You can't even see it. Let me lift it up. So while we add these taller flowers, I'm going to have the camera upright. So I want him to kind of appear as though he's in a little garden. I think that's going to be a nice effect. So that's one of our zinnias. Let's work in a second. And again, you can find all of these products at nicksseasonaldecor.com. The only thing you can't is the bunny, which of course came from Walmart. You know what I'm going to do? Zinnias are very upright blooms, unless they're super heavy and they'll topple over in the wind. But I'm thinking, let's extend it out. Let's bring that design out. Yes, well, Betty Ann, it's not a crock pot. Linda says need yellow, touch orange, touch orange. Yeah, you could add yellow to it. We're gonna, instead of do yellow, we're gonna do white. But that's the beauty in designing, is you could add whatever the heck you like. Even if the colors don't work, you still can work it in if it makes you happy, right? So we've extended that out a little bit. So that's 2 flowers, 2 stems. Now let's come back in with some more. So we got some of those roses we can work in. We have some other dahlias. We have some orange dahlias, which is a different orange. What do you guys think of that? Yay or nay? I just used up my tulips in that wreath I was telling you about. Maybe we'll do white zinnias, white dahlias, I mean. That's a little bit creamy for me. Let's see. I did like these, so let's work in a few roses. So these we've been using a lot in the wreath community over the last week and a half or so. We've used the yellow, we've used the white. These came from TJ Maxx. And how many of you guys have been to a TJ Maxx? I know they're not everywhere, but I feel like a lot of you guys have them, right? I feel like they're international. They are international. And you know how I know that? Is because I was watching a TikTok, and the TikToker, is that right? I don't know. I'm still so new to it. Said that overseas in England, they don't have TJ Maxx's, they have TK Maxx's, because there's another store overseas that has the word TJ in it or something, and they didn't want people to get confused, so they named it TK Maxx, right? So this is the second product that we don't have available at nicksseasonaldecor.com. So the bunny and the flower and the roses are the only 2 things, other than the container, of course. I'm liking that so far. So something like this is known as an arrangement, and the difference between an arrangement and a centerpiece is just that. A centerpiece is typically placed in the middle of a table. You have people sitting on either side of the table, whereas an arrangement, when I think of arrangements, I typically think of buffet tables, right? Most dining rooms have a buffet table. I also think of arrangements being on like lanterns. They're lantern swags, but they're still an arrangement. Also on your porch, your like porch planters that you can have. Those are arrangements. So centerpieces I consider to be only something that can be viewable from all points of view. So even though this is not intended to be viewed from all points of view, I always like to make sure it looks as beautiful all the way around as possible. So if we're using really expensive flowers towards the front, I'll probably place just some inexpensive greenery and inexpensive blooms towards the back to tie in. That way we're not increasing our budget too much. So that's what we got so far. Hey, Becky, nice to see you. That's turning out so cute. Thank you, Barb. So we got these carrots, and I think at this point in time, let's work in a few. So these were $6.99 from Hobby Lobby. And if you want to see all of the spring stuff, I did do a tour last night, of all the stuff they got in. But we are getting in carrot ribbons. We're getting in, I think, miniature carrots, miniature glittered eggs, a lot of signs, a lot of flowers. No, not flowers this time. We already got in tons of flowers and greenery. So this time we're getting in all that other stuff. So for these, I think we'll keep these away from the middle, but how cool will that be to stick these out like that? So I'm going to see if we can use those poppy stems. All right, so bear with me. I saved these. I'm going to see if I can poke them in. And I can. So that's going to be cute. So just pull back that green raffia. That's all that is in the middle. And poke it into your little carrot. Now you got something that looks inappropriate for the time being and the time being only. We're going to turn it into something cute. All right? So I'm poking that in the middle with a little bit of hot glue. These are made out of styrofoam and fabric. So let's start with 2 on each side, and then we can go from there if we want to add some more. So a little hot glue right into that green part. I'm placing it kind of in between. It's not lining up perfectly, but I don't care. You made the St. Patrick's Day wreath and it turned out awesome. Send me a picture. And if you guys do purchase supplies from me or create anything that we create on Facebook, the best thing you can do is share a picture with us so we can see. I absolutely love when you guys share pictures, and it really touches me. So definitely share some pictures. Not too many of you guys have been sending them lately, so I want to see what you make. Maybe we'll take a poll, not a poll, but maybe we'll make a post tomorrow or something asking about them. Yes? You guys like that? This is turning out so cute. Thank you. So I lied. We're probably going to stick 3. And not because we have to work in odds, but I think it kind of looks like fireworks when we do it that way, right? So we did 4. And look, I got glue strings galore here. So it happens to the best of us. We got to work in something behind the bunny. I'm seeing too much foam on that side, and I'm not liking it. So we got to work in some additional greenery. And I got the perfect greenery for that. The more textures you can add to things, you guys, traditionally the better off you are. Of course, it depends on the design you're creating, the aesthetic you're going for, and all of that good stuff. But typically, texture diversity is not a bad thing. I'd say color diversity is where you kind of start to lose people. So don't work in too many colors. Of course, that is dependent on who you are and what kind of style you like, because I know a lot of designers love working with tons of color. And that's something I'm going to work on. One day at a time. And our final carrot, we'll shoot out that side. So let me stand back a little bit. How did you get the supplies? So you can purchase these supplies at nicksseasonaldecor.com. Another thing we don't have is the carrots, but we will. We're getting in some cool carrots, so stay tuned for that. Should we work in the final 2? We should not. All right. Time for more greenery. So this we also used in that wine wreath in the group, and I used a bunch of it today. So this one bush that was like $10.50 or so has got to be one of the fullest bushes I've seen. And tell me that does not look like carrot tops, you guys. Maybe what we'll do is we'll make our own carrot, and we'll stick some of this fern inside. I think that'll look really, really cool. So let me know your feedback on that, you guys, whether we should do it or not. Stick a piece there. Trim them up a little bit. These wires are really long. Another piece here. And there we go. That's going to hide that gap that I was talking about. And let's do what I always do. You guys know how I am. I love sticking greenery in the bows. And our final piece of greenery, it's kind of a darker green. So I'll see if I even can tell the difference between that, and I think we're good. I don't think it's much of a contrast. So like I said, I don't want my tail to touch the table, so I'm going to trim this tail up a little bit. And a little bit more. Much better. And the reason I don't like that is because, if we're going to be honest, you guys, it reminds me of my pants. And sometimes my pants are way too long for me. Oh, can you guys still hear me? No, we have these ferns in stock. Great question. We do have those ferns. We have the ferns, the dahlias, no, the zinnias, the leatherleaf fern. We've got the ribbon. Is that all that we've used? Yeah, we've only used a few products. Okay. So final thing is going to be this yarrow. And we have these 32-inch stem. You get 3 individual flowers. MTF 22648. Nope. Sorry, guys. I have to get closer to this. Alex always makes fun of me for it. MTF 22848. And these are an off-white. And the foliage on these kind of looks like carrot tops as well. So let's break these down. And I only have one spray up here, but we got plenty in stock for you guys, you know, if you want them. And the foliage on this is too pretty to throw away. So I actually have some pieces I'm looking at in the trash right now, and I might pull those out because those kind of look like carrot tops as well. So let's take a few of these pieces and do what we always do, place them into the bow. And who agrees with me? Working in a little bit of greenery in your bow really does wonders. Right? Didn't that soften it and take so much attention away from that? So I've always been a fan of doing it this way. Let's work in the yarrow. We'll place a piece here. Another piece will go underneath the bow, which is the longest piece, which is going to sit nicely. We'll bend that down. That way that can also be kind of like a spiller as well. And our final one will sit on that side. What do you think? Hands up if you think this is turning out cute so far. Right? I'm liking that. Okay. I don't love this color with the products that we've got. Is that the only foliage I have up here? I do have a rosemary, but I think that's a little... Yeah. So let's see, do I have anything behind me? I know I brought up some of this stuff. I've been designing like crazy, so who knows where everything is. So I think there's nothing else up here that I would use. And one thing I really make sure the wreath community hears enough is to know when to call it quits. So we have enough floral material. We have enough products on that. Now what it's all about is just covering up our mechanics. So I will come back in with a little bit more of either fern or both ferns to fill in. So we talked about earlier that you can add a lot of texture, and I think we've already done that through the use of everything that we have here. So I think if I added any more flowers, it'll take away and look too busy. We could work these carrots in if we wanted to, but I don't think they're going to be adding enough to generate income with this arrangement to make it worth my while. So we're going to stop there. We'll come back in with some additional greenery, like I said, to cover our mechanics. And of course the back needs a lot of greenery, but we'll just take probably that second bush of fern, not the real touch fern, but the big bush of fern, and it'll only take probably half of it because that is so thick and it has so many individual fern fronds. So I'm going to actually show you guys what this looks like right now. So come with me. You could add moss to it. That's a great point. I wasn't even thinking. You could absolutely add moss to it. So let's do this, okay? Jessica bought the bunny today. Awesome. So this is the design I created for you guys yesterday. If you don't mind checking it out, definitely do so. I know a lot of you guys missed out on it, but we worked in these white poppies. So give me 1 sec while I bring the arrangement over. Okay, ready? What do you think? You like it? Should I move the lights too? Let me move the lights. Need some more flowers. I will disagree with you on that. If you wanted to work in maybe 1 or 2 more zinnias, you absolutely can. But I wouldn't be working in any other style of flowers. So 1 more second, you guys. I'm going to sneak in front of you so I can show you what it looks like with lighting. There we go. Much better. And that is how the bunny design turned out. So if you wanted to work in 1 more zinnia, you can place one up here, create a little cluster there and there, maybe a few white roses. But as I said, if I was to work in any more products, it'd be products that we already used in this design because we already got a lot going on, and I like to keep things a little bit more on the simpler side. So if you guys create this design or anything else, definitely share with me. I would always love to see what you create because you guys create some really amazing pieces. And it looks a little busy up there, and that's because I'll give you a sneak peek, okay? Just 3 seconds. So if you've stayed this long or if you're watching the replay, let me know if you saw the newest wreath. Ready? There we go. It's dark. So that's your 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. I love it, how natural that is. And that's the bunny arrangement. So again, if you don't mind giving this video a thumbs up and a share, I appreciate it. You can find our other social media channels. We have a Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube, so make sure to follow and subscribe. God forbid we lose our Facebook page. We still want to have a way to inspire and motivate you. The bunny came from Walmart. It was like $8. The container is from Hobby Lobby, I believe. I've been reusing this container for a number of years. I actually have 2 or 3 of them because I love them that much. The ribbons from our shop, nickseasonaldecor.com. The fern is, the other fern is, the yarrow is, the zinnias are, carrots, and is that it from Hobby Lobby? Just the carrots are from Hobby Lobby, right? And then the roses are from TJ Maxx. So again, tons of signs and ribbons, picks, decorations, embellishments are coming in. We also have moss frames coming in as well. And we just got in a big shipment of florals and greenery. So you can check all of that out at nickseasonaldecor.com. Make sure to download our app. We do have a free app in the Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. And make sure to text me. The number is 978-396-9150. That way you never miss out on our lives. So once again, I'll add a little bit more fern. You could also work in moss. That was a great point. And I'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.